Please, everyone, try and sit still. Try to continue to meditate inside. And, this energy is simply to be digested. You understand? I mean, one of the problems in this world is that there's spiritual malnutrition. People, undernourished in terms of taking in and digesting spiritual energy so they can build a chakra system inside themselves that is connected to a higher force in the universe. And, there's so much energy in these classes, and it's there to be taken in, it's there to be digested, it's there to be used to develop a very strong inner life. And that strong inner life enables us to do two things. First one is that we can live here as human beings. We can be happy, we can be open, we can truly feel joy inside us. And the second thing is we're connected with higher energy. So, that this really is essential so that we're working on two dimensions at the same time. One is connecting with higher energy in the universe. And the second one is working out our karma in the world. As I've said many times, how do you work out your karma? You really become a happy person living here. It's the greatest success that any human being can have on the earth, just being happy, having joy, ananda, love in their heart, and to be able to live like that every single day and not allow ourselves to be sucked into all of the emotions, the insecurity, all that stuff that really just sucks people's energy out of them and keeps them from ever really growing in their life. So all this work is about is these two dimensions, one being connected to spirit. It's impossible to be connected to spirit unless a person really is open inside. Otherwise, it's, the energy of the cosmos is like a faucet dripping water. If you're open inside, it's a great fountainhead of energy that comes in and really helps expand us. And the meditation is about that. It's about getting open inside, using the craft of meditation, the tools of meditation, to develop that kind of openness inside oneself. If you ever think about the alternative, is being emotional and neurotic and crazy. And that itself should remind somebody that they have to do something about themselves to grow. Does anyone have a question?
Stuart, I have a question, Bob Sink.
Yes, Bob.
Can you go into more detail about this digestion process? How best to do that?
Well, it's something I talk about all the time. Only lately I've been using the term digestion. When you eat food, you have to digest the nutrients, the vitamins, so that, your system can run. When you open spiritually to receive Shakti, to receive higher energy, the chakra system has to begin to develop inside. Because if the heart is closed, if you're not grounded in the foundation area, if the throat is closed, the mind is, kind of a playing field for all kinds of conflict, there's no room to digest the energy. We're just full of ourselves. And what we're doing is basically cannibalizing ourselves. We're living off of that kind of tension, that neurotic energy, that runs our lives. But when the chakra system starts to develop and we're grounded, the heart is open, there's room for the spiritual force to come inside. And the chakra system needs to eat. It needs energy. And by us doing the work to develop the chakra system, it can receive the energy of a higher nature. and it will digest that energy, and that energy becomes part of us becoming more conscious in the way we live our lives every day. It really strengthens our system. And, I mean, I've said it before, Rudy always, when I first met him especially, he used to talk all the time about the world being spiritually malnourished. And I think that's one of the greatest truths, that we live in a world where people are starving to death. I mean, we were up in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, and came into this town, and there was these theaters and architecture that was very nice. But we got out and took a walk through the town, and people were like, you look at them and they were starving to death, spiritually, literally. You could see them starving to death, not from physical food, from spiritual food. And it leads to illness, it leads to unhappiness, it leads to all kinds of mental and emotional problems. And all of these things can be overcome if people build a chakra system that allows them to digest the energy of, God, higher energy, whatever one wants to call that. I mean, all you have to do is stand on the street and look at people as they walk by, And it's almost, and then you think, well, why is life so complicated? Why are there so many problems in the world? And one of the reasons for it is everybody's trying to fix the external world, the material world, the psychological world, all that's, nobody is working, very few people are working to fix themselves. And that is the key to getting a little peace and harmony. And when people have to fix themselves, they have to be able to develop a system that can be connected to spirit. I mean, I honestly talk about this a lot because it's simply, it just comes back to me over and over again every day. I'm constantly being, beleaguered, I would say, by people's problems. And all of those problems can be fixed if people work and develop a chakra system. And they have grounding in themselves. You understand? The mind is quiet. If the mind is quiet, we begin to receive knowledge and wisdom. Real knowledge, not intellectual knowledge, not rational understanding of the world, but knowledge that comes from the source of all creativity. Knowledge that creates the most masterful works of art, music. And it just flows through us. Understand? But we need to be open. That is our job, to get ourselves open so we can tune into that energy. And digest it. Let it become part of our inner life, the same way we digest nutrients and minerals and, vitamins and stuff like that. So it becomes part of our digestive system. And it helps us build a stronger physical person, stronger immune system. We understand digesting physical food. Spiritual is another matter because it's dealing with intangibles. The results aren't immediate. It takes time, development, for the results to manifest in our lives. Does anyone else have a question you would like to ask?
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome, Bob. Yesterday, Bob posted another one of my blog writings. I suggest you go there. They're very interesting. I don't know how many of you have gone there. It's on my website. But every weekend I will post something. Next week it's going to be about Tantra. So I'm sure that would get everybody interested. So I suggest if you have time, go there and read it. It'll take you 10 minutes. And they're always kind of interesting, and I'm having kind of fun and enjoying writing them. Does anyone else have a question I would like to ask?
Stuart?
Yes.
So is developing a strong chakra system the simplest way to overcome a resistance to change? I mean, is there other tools, or it just gets back to that? Just keep working on the chakra system.
Honestly, Larry, I believe it gets back to that. I mean, there are other ways we can change our environment. We can, do things, change our diet. We can, things that help change. But the most profound changes that take place in a human being change when the chakra system is developed. Because then you overcome the fear in yourself of just stepping into the unknown, of embracing the unknown, embracing life. Life is the great teacher. And we need to be really strong inside to embrace life and to let every single dimension of life teach us what we need to learn about ourselves so that we can grow. This takes a really strong individual inside to do that. And yes, as I say, you can look, I changed my diet. I lost 20 pounds, 25 pounds. My physical person is changing, Yeah, that's a change. But that doesn't change the mind going, blah, blah, the emotions, the sexual energy, So then, you understand, I go and, years of working has developed a system that enables me to use those energies, which create so much chaos in people, as energies that can truly build my inner life. And it's developing a chakra system that, enables you to do this. Otherwise, life consumes us. It eats people alive. The material world just consumes everybody. In fact, in my blog yesterday, I wrote about that. How people are literally consumed by the material world. So how do you do it? Yes, you can go live in a foreign country, speak another language, wear other clothing, let your hair grow long, let your hair go short, whatever. These are changes, but these don't dramatically change the way we embrace the world. The development of a really powerful chakra system, it enables a human being to do this. That takes time. You have to have patience. And then the craft of meditation allows somebody to do this, building that kind of system inside.
Thank you, Stuart.
I mean, people have changed their gender today. They change, it's really unbelievable what goes on in the world today. And, I remember once when I was younger, I was living for a short period, I was in Belgium. And I was getting restless. And I said, I have some friends in Rome. I'm going to hitchhike down to Rome. And And when I got to Rome, I realized the language was different, the people were different, the food was a bit different, a lot different. You know, the only thing that hadn't changed was me. You know, I didn't change. I was still stuck with the same yakking in my brain, emotions, insecurity, fear. I said, you know, I was eating great Italian food and drinking great wine. And then, meanwhile, I was still crazy inside. I was still neurotic. I didn't change. And I said, Stuart, it was really one of the first times, I was like 22 years old. It became so clear to me that you have to learn how to do inner work. You have to change inside yourself. Because all the other changes, just a bunch of stuff. It doesn't. And I can tell you in my life, look, I've lived in mansions, I've lived on the streets, I've lived in, you know, and the one thing that didn't change was the neurosis inside me until I learned from Rudy how to develop an inner life that was strong enough to do it. And now, you know, whatever it is, you can deal with, and you don't get nuts. And you don't let yourself get sucked into, you know, kind of an immature state of, you know, which drains all your energy away. Does anyone else have a question? And then ultimately, just to finish, I said, what do we all want in life? We want to be loved. We want to love. We want to be happy. We want to have a lightness of being inside ourselves. We don't want to be constantly fighting that battle against us. And open, to be open inside. Be a happy person. It's the ultimate goal in life. Everything's supposed to bring that money and success and power, just to make people happy. I mean, you know, look at politicians. You ever see a happy politician? It's unbelievable, you know. All they do is rip each other apart. Frankly, only because within each and every one of them, they're ripping themselves apart. Does anyone else have a question? Okay, if there are no more questions, then there'll be class tomorrow evening, same time. Looking forward to seeing everybody. God bless you all. As I always say to you all, my job in life, and my life is about growing spiritually. Understand, look, I've been through all the rest of it, success in the world and money and this, and, and the final goal is to grow spiritually. Every single one of you, and your presence here is helping me to do that. And I'm very grateful to all of you, that you really come, you work on yourself, you have a need to grow inside. And it's really a wonderful thing that people can come together and do this. So God bless you all, and thank you. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you, Stuart.
Good night, Stuart. Thank you.
Thank you.